Ah. Hello, everybody. This is Pushup Podcast episode 13, if I'm not mistaken. Let's start it off good. Couple push-ups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Today's discussion is on the book Living Without Free Will by, I believe it was Derek Prayboom, something like that. Didn't ever hear the pronunciation. Do a couple push-ups before we talk about the book. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, Derek Prayboom contests that the thesis of the book, since we don't have free will, we should treat the Department of Justice and criminality as a public health issue, that we should look to rehabilitate and quarantine rather than incarcerate. The idea that just because someone may be born with the unfortunate ability of psychopathy doesn't mean we should treat them as less than human. We should quarantine them as if someone that had the plague. Do a couple more push-ups before I go to what I'm sure is your first objection. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Many of you will argue that we have free will. But of course we have free will. We choose our own actions. But here will be the main arguments that many would give, including Derek Prayboom. Pardon if you're hearing the music from drivers. I'm not going to edit it out. Too lazy. 15. We are going to do our 15 to 20 now. 16. 17. 18. 19. 20. Now, this seems to be a much more comfortable way to talk to the camera. Now, the best argument against free will is that we don't choose our upbringing, we don't choose our genetics, we don't choose anything about us. Nothing is chosen beforehand. There is no way we could have done anything differently than what we are already going to do. We are solely products of our environment. And even if you don't take that to the logical extreme, it seems like we have very little in cases to go against our biological instincts. Now, I'll give you the proper discussions on his objections to having free will after 5 more push-ups. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. He argues that the universe is either deterministic, in which case there's no way to argue for free will because everything is set in motion, or that the universe is ultimately random as finite in most fundamental laws, in which case you still can't argue for free will because randomness does not include you choosing to do something. So, either determined or random from a scientific perspective. I'll give the last example, the last counter argument most people give to free will after, let's say, 5 more. Hope you're following along. 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. The last objection most people give to the argument of free will, that we have it, would have to be from a religious standpoint. The idea that God gives us free will. But, as Sam Harris would once say, a different author, you can't be helped that you weren't born with the soul of a psychopath, or a killer, or a pedophile. There is, even pushing it back all the way to God, you don't control God's will controls you. So, there is absolutely nothing any of us could have done differently in any circumstance. And we should not treat those who were in the misfortune to have been born in hostile environments, causing them to act out, with any less humanity and kindness. I'll explain what I mean by that a little further after, let's say, 5 more push-ups. I believe we're on 31? 31? 32? 33? 34? 35. Currently, we punish, at least in America, we punish criminals as if they deserve what happens to them. No one deserves anything. We are simply given things by product of where we happen to be placed in the universe. By simply product of where we were born, at what time, under what circumstances. He argues, Derek Prayborn, that criminality should be treated as a public health issue. We don't blame the tornado, we don't blame the virus, we simply fix the problem so it impacts as little people as possible. Okay? That is the argument. We should treat people with more kindness and less hate, because ultimately none of us had any choice in the matter. And I like the idea. Some objections to the book after 5 more push-ups. 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. Now, clearly, if you don't accept the notion that if you accept the notion we have free will, none of this at all makes sense to you. You don't agree with any of it. So, first off, you have to accept that we don't have free will. And if you do accept that we don't have free will, then you don't agree with any of these arguments. Also, the idea that criminals should be punished because they do deserve it and it would help prevent more crimes. I don't agree with either of these ones, but those are the objections. We're going to do 10 more before I hear the train coming, okay? That was 42, 43, 44, 45. Pushing my glasses up there. 46, 47, 48, That was kind of a cheat one. 49, another cheat. 50. And as always, friends, we will do one more 4-game measure. 51. I hope I have given you something to think about today. And as always, push forward.